All right, here we go. I think this is video 3 or something like that. This is Jeff from Rvdiagnostics. It's on a late Sunday afternoon, evening. My wife's in there making some vegetable soup or something like that. We're talking about this generator we've been taking apart, making a couple of videos on it. Going to change the belt and coupler and all that. It's a 5.0 NAM marquee. So I got my chain hooked up. Remember, I took the bolts out where the springs were, right? Let me show you. So remember, the big bolts went through where the big spring is, and then your little spring doesn't have a bolt. There is no bolt in the little spring. So I got a hook here and a hook here. I got a small engine crane, light duty. I got a bigger one, pulled diesel engine. We don't need that big one. Now, what we had to do is, right, the 1/2 inch 13 millimeter, we had to undo the ground right there because it's grounded to the mounting plate that goes to the RV. And then we had to disconnect the fuel pump. We already did that. And remember, this is this box I told you about with the circuit breakers in it and the switch. And here we go. Now, I want to show you something. We also got to take this out right here. Now, I don't want you to get it confused, but you see the ground wire? That's from the 120 ground. And here's the neutrals to the ground, or neutrals to the AC. Notice they're tied together. This is the only place that you do that. It's neutral bonding, all right? Now, you don't tie it together on your 120 side going to shore power because it's done in the panel outside, not in the RV. Okay. So here is the 120 black wires, right, that go out of the circuit breaker. Okay. So we're going to disconnect this one, right? And then we're going to disconnect these from the circuit breaker over here. Okay, and then we're going to pull them through. All right, and then that'll allow me to lift this whole thing up. And once I lift it up, I'm going to show you real briefly. That's it right there. Now that is your fan, okay? And I was telling y'all some other videos underneath that this gets clogged up with debris and y'all don't do it. This is an air-cooled generator, okay? Now, for those that take off your cover here, this cover, this is your starter wire right here. All the time, most of them, this is your starter wire, okay? And that's your electric choke. Remember, we're not just going to tear this thing apart just to show you the belt drive and all that. We're going to go over some stuff that makes it work. Let's say the starter wouldn't crank over, right? And you go to hit the switch here. Well, what I do is I go to this wire. It's easy to get to because your cover's off. You pull this, you hit it with B+ battery positive, bang, and the starter kicks over. So you know your problem's from here back into the box with the switch, or you're missing positive volts. But it'll get you going. All right. And we got how many bolts? Let's see. Well, that was my air conditioner turning on in my Beaver. I keep the thing on all the time. So we got a plate right here in the bottom plate, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about 10 of these screws. All right, it'll come out. And you got to watch the length on them. Some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. All right, we'll compare that. So here's the other big spring. It was over there, right? Big, big, small, small. They're a catty corner from each other. All right, here we go. We're going to disconnect that 120 over there I showed you. All right, then I'm going to get it up in the air. And then I'm going to take that plate off. All right. And then I'm going to show you what's underneath. So this was a short video, just in case my wife calls me to start eating. Nah, remember I told you I'm gonna do these videos in little chunks for you, a little at a time. I'm gonna show you the tools you need. All right, we already went over all the nut sizes and everything. I think of the T30, T50. I think it was 9/16 that held the mount onto the RV, and then 1/2 inch on the other bolts, and 3/8. Thank you very much. It's Jeff from RV Diagnostics.